Hi, this is Denise Candelario with RE Solutions Group with eXp. Today, we're going to talk about the high interest rates in our market today and whether or not people should buy or keep renting. So first, we're going to go into the pros of renting. When you are renting, the cost of the property is not your responsibility. So if something breaks, just call your landlord and they will come and fix it. Another pro for renting is that maintaining just your basic maintenance is not your responsibility. Sure, you have to cut the grass and things of that nature, maybe change a light bulb, but making sure that the AC is working properly and the water heater, things of that nature, those maintenance is usually not a tenant's responsibility. A third pro of renting is that you can move at any time once your lease ends. So you do your 12 months, whatever your lease states, and then you can leave and get into another property of your choosing, whether you need to go smaller or go bigger. You can do that at any time. Of course, the last pro for renting is if you are planning to move in a year or so, then it's best to probably rent. So if you have a short time that you know that you're going to be in any location, then it would be best for you to rent. Now we're going to talk about the cons for renting. Okay, so the first con is, of course, rent is high now. You know, when I started this business about 8 years ago, you could get a really nice rental, 3-bedroom, 2-bath for $1,000, $1,050. And when I used to help renters, people want to rent because they want a yard, whatever their reason was, but they can get something really, really nice. But now our average in San Antonio is $1,800, and that's probably going to continue increasing every quarter. Another con is rent will continue to increase because in San Antonio, the value of properties increase. Usually it was 6 to 8%. In the last market where people were fighting for homes, we saw it go up to 20%. So now we may see it go back to that 6%, 8%. But with that, also rent will increase. So historically, we would see rent increase about $50, but now rents are increasing $100. So if you're in a property, you are almost guaranteed for your landlord to contact you at the end of your lease, and they're going to increase your rent about $50 to $100 every time. Our next con is you cannot make any renovations or modifications that you want in the property. You're going to have to request that from your landlord. So a lot of times when I put renters in properties, the first question they ask is, can I paint? Okay, so that is every little thing that you do, you're going to have to ask permission. And if you do a modification in the property because you're allowed to by law, or it's something small, guess what? That now belongs to the owner, or you have to put the house back the way that they gave it to you. So if you want to paint a wall a dark color, you may be required to put it back to the last color that it was. So that's just a hassle when we're renting and sometimes pricey. The next con is your owner may not renew your lease. So I've seen this many, many times when I help renters. A lot of them will call me and say, I need to find a new rental because my owner is selling their property, or they may be moving back in and I have to find a new property. Okay, so if this happens, this can be very stressful. Then now you have to find something quickly. Now prices have increased. You may have had a really nice rent amount. Maybe it was $1,500 and they only increased it a little bit over the years, but now you're going to be paying market prices for properties. It may be a big sticker shock once you go back into the market. Our next con is you are paying someone else's rent. So in this market, let's say you pay $1,800 in rent and you decide to buy a house. When you buy a house and pay 7.25% in interest and you try to keep it at your $1,800, your mortgage would be a little bit under $1,800. And in 5 years, you would have paid about $62,000 in interest. That's $62,000 that when you go sell your home, you may get back about $62,000 in profit because every year the house will increase in value. When you are renting for $1,800 a month, in 5 years, you would have paid $103,000 in rent. And if you are to move, guess what? You get back nothing. And your landlord gets their mortgage paid off and they get equity in their home. If you are not financially ready, you should not buy right now. There's a lot going on in our world right now, so only you can answer that question. You know that you cannot pay something or you're having some financial problems or you don't have enough saved, then you should not buy right now. Another big reason not to buy right now is if you're not emotionally ready. A lot of people understand that owning a property, you are responsible for that property now. And I've had a lot of buyers that they started the process, and once we got into the thick of it, they got really, really afraid. Sometimes once I explain things to them, they're comfortable, but sometimes they just got scared, or they're just like, I don't think I'm ready to be responsible for a roof or a water heater. And only you can answer that if you're ready or not. Even though I tell people, find out the process, let us help you. And I think once you have information, then you would see that it's not so bad, but you have to be ready for it. The next reason why you should not buy right now is if you know you're going to move within the next year and you cannot afford to become a landlord or want to become a landlord. 2 years ago, you could have bought today and sold in 6 months and not had to come up with a lot of money or profit a little bit. But now, with our market shifting the way it is now, we're probably going to go back to you have to hold on to your property for at least 3 years before you can sell it and get some kind of profit. So if you know that you're moving in the next year or so because you have a 1-year contract or you just like to move around a lot, then buying in this market right now may not be the best for you. Now, if you want to start a portfolio, then this would be a great time because then you can get into a property and then rent it out. Why it's always a good time to buy regardless of the market. When you buy a property, it is yours. You can do whatever you want to that property. You can have those 5 dogs if you want to. You can have 3 cars. You can smoke in it. Whatever that is that you could not do in that rental. You can do it. Within reason, of course, because we have HOAs that's going to tell you the things that you can and absolutely cannot do. But if you had a hard time finding a rental because you love to have that pit bull that many owners would not allow you to have, then having your own house would be the best thing for you. The next reason why it's always a good time to buy is tax benefits. So, of course, you have to talk to your CPA regarding this, but, buying a property always has great tax benefits that go with it, and rent does not. The next reason is Texas is still below the national housing average for sales in the nation. So even though we were kind of catching up here for a while, when you look, we're still below some of the other states like California, of course, New York, and other parts of actually here in San Antonio, we're still below places like Austin and Dallas. So you can get a pretty nice house for a good price. Another reason why it's always a great time to buy, especially in Texas and San Antonio, is that our market continues to grow and our value of our properties grow every single year. So as soon as you purchase a house, you are immediately starting to build equity in your property. So right now, it has been about 12% every year. And I believe that's going to go down here, like I said before, to about 6%. But it is still a great rate. In 3 years, if you need to or want to sell your home, you can, and you will get some money back. And so that's always great in purchasing a property and growing that wealth for you and your family. Buying a house is always a very personal decision. With information and the right advocates for you, only you can decide what is best for you at this time. We at RE Solutions hope that you have found this information educational. If you would like to explore whether buying a home is best for you at this time, please contact us. Our information is down below. Our goal is always to educate and advocate for you. Thank you for watching, and please subscribe for future videos. We will see you next time.